Hello. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizer, Asia Pacific Agri-Food, for inviting me to share my research. This research is done jointly with Mr. Armen from UNDP, and today we're going to talk about blockchain for food traceability. These are the examples of companies that are integrating traditional technologies and blockchain. Today, I want to talk specifically about food supply chain, and the companies of interest are Dimutu, VChain, Infocorp, Veritech, Commerce, as well as GATS. We all know that digitalization of food system has improved international trade efficiency. It has reduced transaction costs across the entire supply chain and accelerated the liberalization of global trade. However, it has become more complex and they will require new solutions to tackle inefficiencies in the supply chain and also the issue of trust among the stakeholders. But gladly to announce to everyone we have the new technology called blockchain, and the blockchain technology can address the issue of trust by decentralizing the control of data and also the information. And also it can integrate with Internet of Things. We can track the flow of information autonomously collected from all stakeholders in the system, and the convergence of big data and adoption of blockchain technology can help to build a more efficient system. A traceable supply chain is advantageous not only to the consumer but also to participants in the supply chain. So in addition to lack of transparency to consumer, food supply chain can currently face two major problems. The first one is trust. Traditionally, companies participating in the supply chain will each have their own database, and they will store the data about products and transactions not accessible to other people. These are known as centralized systems. Without their permission, you can never view those data. But what happens if the produce is damaged during its journey? You have to find out how, when, and why this happened. We will have to go back to the data source. And this data source will usually be controlled by either the supplier or maybe the buyer or maybe the consumer association or any third party. But even as a third party, there is always a question: how independent is this third party? That brings us to the question of which is the single version of the truth. Here is an example by Dimutu. You have on the left the Peru supplier with a photo, on the right the Singapore buyer have a photo, both about the same supply of the same avocado that they have. Which is the truth? That is the question. Supply chain is so complex. You have the farm, then you will move it to the pack house, and transit to logistic, to distributors, the retail, and consumer. There are so many stakeholders, so many parties involved. Can we tag every single fruit? Can we tag the carton? Can we trace and track every transit, every time they're in transit? The answer is yes. The first step is digitization and the creation of digital record of a product in the supply chain. Second step is called tokenization. It's a version of this digital record shared by everyone in the distributed ledger. And in the Dimutu ecosystem, the first step is to scan the QR code, and then you convert it into a digital asset, which is the step 2, and thirdly put it onto the platform, and fourthly using the app with a good user experience so that everyone can have access. So this will bring visibility to the trade. You can see all the photos where every time you move from one place to another in transit, you will have all the traceability using the IoT to have the photographs. So the second major issue besides trust in the food industry is cost, in particular to do with documentation. And documentation of records transactions is a huge source of inefficiency. So you need to produce a certificate of origin, bill of lading, holding certificates, and so on. By submitting and tracking this document, you actually incur a lot of cost and inefficiency, especially you have to submit it physically. And this is estimated to about 20% of transportation costs. In some countries, the process will take about a week because you have to travel, you have to submit physically, and so on. So is there an easier way? Yes. The company GATS came up with an easy solution that you can submit a certificate of origin electronically, and it knows an e-COE. And once you can e-submit this on the blockchain, then the problem is solved. So such a transparent system created a way of tracing responsibility which can help to protect both buyers and sellers. And also, it minimizes food wastage and facilitates greater efficiency in the international trade. So buyer and seller will have an independent history of the counterparty. Any mishap in transit can be accurately traced. And this encourages everybody to be responsible, and therefore products are not damaged or mishandled. Blockchain and private storage system can be used concurrently as well. Usually, the blockchain will be used to store the cryptography hashes, while the private data storage system are used to store the original document like photos, shipping, certificates, or product measurements such as temperature and so on. But it's all up to the design. Okay, and blockchain can be used in conjunction with other technology as well, such as QR code, RFID tags, and also NFC. And this technology can provide food products with unique identity, allow them to track along the supply chain, and also facilitate efficient payment services. So the information stored by QR codes and RFIDs is fed into the blockchain and recorded on the ledger to be shared up and down of the supply chain. Another technology that we talk about is smart contract. Smart contract is not only an electronic version of a physical contract, but it's more than that. It is actually a set of codes which distill the terms of an agreement. So when certain preconditions are met, the codes will be executed autonomously, and basically the agreement is being enforced. And because there's no third party involved, the cost is very low. So the cost of trust again is lower using the smart contract. One company called Veritech combined QR code with the smart contract, and they are tracking the fish, salmon, especially between Singapore and Europe. And the other company called InfoCorp, they have an app called FarmTrack, and they use that to trace livestock. Here you can see that the livestock is being traced, and you have a cow token, and the cow token is there, and insurance company can insure, and insurance company insured, then the lenders will be lending out in lower rates, and therefore the token also can be traded. And another company, Commerce, they do collateral management using blockchain. They gather the data and give people who would like to do trade a reputation score, and with that they onboard the third-party financer as well, and also logistic companies, so that everyone has got reputation cost, and that determines the pricing. Well, blockchain promises to be especially beneficial to emerging agriculture-dependent economies, and we know there are a lot of countries in Africa, in Asia, and in South America are agriculture-based. That is a very powerful enabler for having a more equitable system, because when you can trace and track the supply chain, you do price discovery, and we all know that the final price of $100, the farmers only get $5 or less. And with transparency, hopefully we can empower some of the first mile supplier, that they will be able to have a lot more pricing discovery, and that will be perfect for emerging economy that depend on food and agriculture sector, and it will be better place to achieve sustainable growth. Now, I don't have much time here. I hope you read the report, because these are the 10 steps recommended to apply blockchain for food traceability. This is a very good report that produced by UNDP. I hope that you'll read it, and hopefully they can help you. So one last but not least example is VChain. VChain and PwC China actually have built a food traceability system. The platform itself actually been extended to Sam's Club, which is a subsidiary of Walmart, and within 9 months, you can see that they have generated 17 million transactions. Okay, and you can see that Walmart is using this, so you can scan the QR code. You can see more information about VChain as well. So in conclusion, we have presented a few cases illustrating how the implementation of blockchain food traceability from 3 different perspectives, namely fresh, packed, food supply and livestock, and documentation for food export and financing for food trade. The benefits of blockchain food traceability network are numerous for sustainable development growth. There is a compelling case for countries and international organizations to allocate resources to collaborate on decentralized food traceability, not only to improve food safety, but to ensure that no countries are left behind. If we can treat digital infrastructure as a public good, I think we can invest the money, especially public money, very wisely. Thank you very much.